We get to the premiers, the Penrith Panthers, a tricky team to really say much interesting about. We can say lots of interesting about it, but we're not going to shed too much light that people don't really know. 3 in a row, 4 grand finals in a row. Well, outstanding, eh?
Mate, the best coach team, most controlled attacking team in the competition. Just know exactly what they're doing every time the ball gets to any part of the field. Realistically, they've just got a plan for every part of the field.
They were better in attack this year,
yes,
and defence this year. They were a better team this year than last year, with who they lost.
Yep.
And we thought they would be massive losses, and it comes with maturity as well. But the trust they have,
probably not as explosive. Like they didn't tear teams to pieces, but
even last year they only won games by 2 and 4 points.
Yeah.
And this year they're winning games by 12 and 14. And
100%.
Yeah,
18
amazing.
wins, 6 losses, 333 plus in the for and against. Average 27.4 points a game, which was first. Average 12 points against. You're only letting in 2 tries, 3 at most, if the opposition can't kick their conversions. Like, you're going to win just about every game, which they did. First in completion rates of 83% for the season. Well down on penalties conceded, 15th. Handling errors, 14th. Ineffective tackles, 12th. Like, they just don't make mistakes. Errors, last in errors. Like, they made 8.8 errors a game. And then you throw in all this other good stuff. Like, it's just ridiculous. Sorry, what have we got here? Missed tackles, 11th. Another one that they're right down there on. Receipts, touch the ball more than anybody else in the game. 50 times on average, they touched the ball 50 more times than the team that ran second, which was Cronulla. And then if you go, I went and had a look from second down to last, the difference was 34. So
but that's part of keeping possession. Yeah, that's part of control. That's right.
It just shows you the way that they dominate the control of a game of football. 8th in line breaks, 2nd in try assists, dummy half runs. Yeah, Kenny wasn't doing a lot of dummy half runs, but kick return meters first. Dylan Edwards done it for the last 3 years. I think he's been the leading run getter in the competition. Just flies back into the defensive line, supports plays everywhere, just constantly making meters when he's got the ball in his hands. First on possession, obviously, as we mentioned. 3rd on tries. Cleary was the 3rd highest point scorer. Toto, 21 tries, was their leading try scorer. Nathan gets a pretty big run in most of these ones. But, first in supports, which was Dylan Edwards. First in line engagements, so taking the ball into the line. I think they had Yo and Cleary both right in the top 10 for that. So they're constantly getting into the line and creating, opportunities for guys, drawing in defence. It's just the way that they shift the ball around and drag defences left, right and centre and then pull them apart.
The more I think about it, and I started this last week, you know what I would be doing next year? I'd be setting up next year to have Moses and Cleary as the halves for New South Wales.
Okay.
And have Cleary at 6.
Yeah.
Because he could be devastating at 6.
Yeah, well, when Luai went out, you saw him play.
Fuck Luai. No, you just...
No, but I'm just saying, when you saw Luai go out of this team for Penrith,
as I've said...
Cogger came in and Cleary started playing 6.
Correct. Yeah. Imagine him doing that outside a Mitch Moses or a Ren...
Cherry Evans, Reynolds, yeah.
Well, Cherry Evans plays Queensland, but... New South Wales. Queensland from New South Wales spectrum.
Yep.
And there's no other New South Wales... Cody Walker's the only one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100%, man. Kick meters, Cleary was 3rd in that. Like he played less games than most halves, I think, in the competition. So when he was on the field, he was as good as anybody. Run meters, Edwards was 1st. Brian Toto was 4th. Taruva was 8th. You got 3 blokes inside the top 10 for run meters. Just absolutely killing it, bringing the ball back. The highest, they were 40th with the for errors. Brian Toto made their most errors, and that was 40th in the list in the competition. So it just shows you how controlled and how well drilled this side is. Yo gave away their most penalties. Taruva most handling errors, but they were well down the list again. So Luai gave away the most set restarts in the competition with 10.
Really?
But, yeah.
make money on a hooker for sure.
Yeah, just ridiculous. Dylan Edwards is just around the ball every time there's a support player. He was first with that. Sorensen was sixth. It wasn't just one in the top 10. They generally had 2 and 3 blokes in the top 10 for every positive attacking stat you could think of. So.
Yeah. Dominance.
Discipline, control. That's the way they went through it.
And they're happy to do it. And it has been a calling card of Ivan Cleary the whole way through.
Even back, the Warriors.
Even when he was at the Tigers.
And the Warriors. They changed their culture there for a couple of years too.
3 weeks he was there when he backed up the bus.
He was on the bus for a month.
Jumped out the front window.
Yep.
It was that was what they drilled into him. And it sticks. It obviously sticks. And they're happy to work hard. They have to be the fittest team. Happy to be, well, as we say, they drag you into the deep water.
They don't panic when they get behind either.
No.
Like we've always said, the way you got to beat them is get it well out in front and then pressure and pressure and pressure.
Yeah.
Still doesn't seem to make too many. Like where the Souths got out in front of them in the grand final and they just drew them back in and put them away. They've done it to Brisbane again.
Confidence and faith in your own team. When you look 100%. When you look at...
I say it's when you look across the dressing room and you see old mate putting his boots on, or you look to your left or your right and you go, like he's not going to miss a tackle. It doesn't matter.
0203 Steve Waugh cricket team. Even if you feel 5 for 40 or fucking Gillies in, that's all right. It'll be sweet. Gilly and Tugger out there, they'll put on 200. We still won by an innings.
Oh, we need 6 wickets. They only need 100. That's all right. That's right.
Pigeon,
Warney will get them.
Yeah,
Pigeon will get them.
Warm up. That's all right.
Casper will get a couple. Gillespie might get a couple. Whatever.
There's a sense of inevitability to it sometimes, and I think, and I said we're only talking park sport level. We've played in teams like that. We just go, well, that's all right. We'll be all right.
It doesn't matter. We'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think they play like that. They just go, okay, if we remain calm, 5 minutes is a long time in rugby league.
Even if we put a bad 10 minutes together, it's fine. Get back together, boys. Get our heads on, and we'll fucking win this. Don't worry about it. And more often than not, they do.
Look, we'll end up wrapping the whole team here, so I don't want to spend heaps on it.
100%.
But you can go through your positives and standouts.
Back end of the season for Luai was very good. His involvement in the attack at the back end of the year before he got injured was fantastic. Cleary speaks for himself. Best halfback in the game at the moment. Sean Johnson gave him a fair run for his money this year, but when it's clutch time and you need to go, I'm pretty sure you want Cleary in your number 7 jersey. Lenu had a fantastic year. He's going to be a loss for him. It's and a good pickup for the Roosters. Something that they need, a bit of aggression and that impact running through the middle of the field. Martin was, I thought, a standout for the majority of the year.
The best thing that happened to them all was getting injured in Origin. Because Martin freshened up, Cleary freshened up, Luai came back from and then got injured again, but came back from the rest. Yo never really got a rest, but had a little bit of a freshen through a couple of weeks there. But those first 4 I mentioned were phenomenal back in this season. Yeah, and the other one I want to mention...
Fish, Leota, Toto.
Stephen Crichton. Stephen Crichton. This was Stephen Crichton's best year of rugby. Like he
I think so.
is now a superstar.
Yeah.
Genuine superstar. It'd be interesting to see if he brings it to Canterbury next year. And if if he goes there as a fullback, which I assume that's what he signed for, what he brings. But he's got this weird sense. Stephen Crichton. He's got this weird sense of calmness in madness at times. Like he'll be, even in the grand final. Two of the he scored the try of the grand final, but these 2 left foot grubbers were pinpoint perfect and probably won in the game.
He broke a couple of tackles as well and made some good meters.
If you take Stephen Crichton out of that game, they don't win that game.
Probably not, no.
And you go back to last year, he takes that intercept.
Yeah.
He's done it for New South Wales. He's done... And won me over as an Origin level player this year because he was great when he came in. He wasn't that great when he got the call-up last year, but
his positioning and understanding of play.
There's not many better in the air.
Yep.
He's fast enough to burn anyone if he makes that intercept. He's
great palm footwork.
Got palm. Great combinations. Even when they moved him the other side of the field, he never panicked.
It doesn't seem to matter who he's playing outside of or inside of. Yeah.
He is a great player, and just want to mention him because I think
Yeah,
I think
100%.
people won't look at it this way, but it's a breakout year from him.
And basically, the starting pack. Like, Kenny had a very good year. Not quite
Well,
up
another
there
one,
as a
'cause
he
went,
was good.
He came in here and we were like, he's going to have 6 weeks, and Sonny Luke will
Sonny
be,
Luke in, yeah.
running the show. And his service improved week after. In the first month, it was awful. It was awful. And don't forget,
Yeah.
we were half penning Penrith after a month. Although they're fine, but and they realised what had to improve, and they all improved. Mitch Kenny, and his defence is fantastic. Hits as
Defensive
hard as anyone.
Trojan, man. He's fucking great.
And hurts when he hits. He's,
But then you go to the next blokes, and they're all standouts. Both the front rowers, Leota, Fisher-Harris, standouts this year. Liam Martin, Sorensen has to be considered a standout, I think. I thought he was brilliant for big parts of the year in that line that he would run off Luai out there, causing all sorts of problems, setting up tries, scoring
and has
tries.
that footwork once he gets in that. Once he hits the line, if he's not quite right, he can.
And offload. I think he was their leading offloader down here somewhere. And then you throw Yo on the back of that. Like, that's a fucking pretty impressive starting forward pack. Lenu off the bench. But
Cleary led the offloads, 35.
Okay.
Sorensen, 31. Luai, 22.
31.
Fish, 17. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Another stat for Cleary. Just throwing offloads left, right and centre as a halfback. Why not? But he's probably the strongest running halfback in the game as well.
Yeah.
Like, he takes defenders with him when he decides to run.
Yes.
And does have the strength to obviously stand in tackles and throw offloads.
He could easily play as a 6.
13, if he wanted to.
If he wanted to play as 13. Which is what we saw from Freddie as he got older. He said, I'll just stand in the middle of the field instead and be all right.
And his defence is as good. He's the best, probably
on the way to being
best defensive
the closest
halfback
to Brad Fittler I can think of.
Like, I can't think of there's not a halfback that tackles better than him, is there?
Not in this game, no.
No. Not for years. I can't remember one for a long time. But, yeah.
Mitch Pearce
at
his best.
Good.
Joey was good.
Joey was good defender. But, yeah.
They're the most recent I can think of.
100%. Positives, Kenny, obviously
Jackson Hastings.
improved markedly.
Cleary's better than Hastings, but Jackson Hastings would be the next, I'd say.
Mitch Kenny had a very, very good, strong year. Defensively worked his ass off. Smith, Hoskins, both big positives going forward. I think they've got a lot to improve on, even though how good they were this year. Just with experience, that'll come.
Yeah.
Bit more game time. I thought Peachy had a fantastic year.
He did.
When he was called on to play, he did a very good role and actually looked like a pretty good attacking threat at different times.
Well,
with
when
some footwork,
he's on the edge there in the centre.
bumping blokes off.
He's loving it.
Yeah. Throw in Taruva, another one who improved out of sight, and Cogger. He only played 4 or 5 whatever games, but I don't think he missed a beat every time he came in.
He's fantastic, and that has to be true. When you list those names, it has to be tribute to the Penrith system.
Yeah, the coaching
From
top to bottom.
You look at this now, you've got to actually say, so Gussie's gone, Webster's gone. It was all Serraldo, apparently. You've got to give credit to
it just
Cleary.
stacks up more
You've
to
got
Ivan,
to give
doesn't it?
What else can you say? The proof's in the pudding. 2 of his assistant, and the other one they used to say about Bennett is he used to create coaches.
And I think a lot of it comes from the player. It's very player-driven as well.
Well,
yeah.
and maybe there's an element of they all came through together and they've known Ivan since they were 10 years old. So you look at he's your man.
You can see, I can see a couple of players in this team that do a lot of coaching on the field as well. The likes of Edwards and Cleary and
Cleary does. Cleary's first pick up. Yo does it as well.
Yo does
first
it as well.
Gun. So. But the other thing they used to say about Wayne is he was a coach maker, and Bellamy was a coach maker. With you look at Wayne had all of them come through. Bellamy recently had O'Brien.
Well, those 3 that we just mentioned, I'll be very surprised if they don't end up as coaches.
Edwards,
Cleary,
I mean, even Cleary's now just had Serraldo and Webster come out of their system and be hired as first grade coaches.
Yep.
It's you've got to give credit to it.
Not a lot of question marks you can really throw into this Penrith side. Garner was one.
Cogger ended up playing 13 games, by the way.
Who did?
Cogger. But the back end, there would have been 6 when off a bench when either all the way back or...
Garner was a question mark, obviously. Whether he stays in this squad going forward, I'm not sure.
I don't think they're rid of him.
Salmon's leaving, obviously, so and so's Lenu and Crichton. So that's probably the only real question mark you have. What they do, how they replace these guys that are moving on to another club.
Yeah, but the other thing they do, and they've done well, Dane Laurie's coming in. Alamotti's coming in.
Schneider.
Riley Price and Schneider coming in.
Yeah.
But what they've now reached a point, the Bellamy point, where Cleary will just go, well, I know I'll get the best out of him.
I'll just pick him.
Just
put him
go
in
and
the team.
go and find someone with a little bit of something. Alamotti. We thought he was going to be a superstar a year ago.
Yeah.
Bulldogs couldn't get rid of him fast enough. So just go, we'll bring him in. We'll find out. He's going to work hard. He's either going to sook around or he's going to be a first-grade centre.
100%.
And Dane Laurie's there to just cover the halves, so that's fine. And same as Schneider, so they're going to run around.
They're your salmon
They're going to run around
replacements.
for reserve grade all year, and that's fine. Yeah.
Just that starting centre spot with Crichton going is a question mark, and that bench. I don't know if there's many players that have the same sort of impact as Spencer Lenny coming off a
and
bench.
I can't say he won him lots of games, but he would have won them a couple, change games.
We got him
himself.
up and going
He
anyway.
changed games, and that's a hard thing to find. It's not Lindsay Smith doesn't do it.
And the biggest question mark of them all is Sonny Luke now. What happens with him? And
actually it's at the point where
looks pretty good, but
I think they have a bit of a higher opinion of Summerton now that we'll see him starting in front of on the bench
in front of Sonny Luke
before Sonny Luke sooner rather than later.
But yeah, can't ask too many questions of a team that's won 3 out of the last 4 comps, can you?
Do they
That's true.
Yeah. Do they win the comp next year?
They go very fucking close. He did, yes, a couple of times.
Well, they've just stapled Pappy's legs back on, so they might be a danger next year. Who knows?
The only real. I don't think they can afford too many more.
There's more coming.
They've got a couple.
Yeah.
The only real thing that worries me is the hole that's left by Crichton in the starting side.
And I think I think they are both as big a losses as Flegler and Herbie.
Yeah, because he's as good as...
They're straight for straight
How
comparisons.
often do you see Crichton get beaten?
No, you don't.
In defence. And
Penrith can get stripped. Penrith got stripped a few times on an edge by Melbourne. They couldn't capitalise. Yeah. We've seen it, but...
And he's got X factor as well in attack. So
yes,
they're gonna need to find someone who's solid defensively and does offer something in attack as well. And there's not huge amounts of those
I don't
types of
even think
centres
he
running
necessarily
around.
starts there, but they're obviously banking on Alamotte having something up the sleeve. Taruva's probably a bit small to go into a centre. Obviously, 2-0's 2-0. But we don't know a lot about these your McLeans and your...
There's a million Penrith
your
kids running
McLeans
around.
and your other winger that scored all those tries. Like, there's bloke they'll have blokes. I'm not
of course
doubt.
they would. Yeah.
But I do believe that...
it's still
the
going to
two
take
losses
someone
are huge.
a good 12 months to
come right.
fill into a role.
And the thing is, no one's sitting there ready to pounce outside these top two, and there's knocks to both top two. And that's what I can't come up with just yet. So, I think they are installed favourites, and rightfully so.
I think you're going to see a team next year probably improve 4 or 5 spots.
I think someone's coming from nowhere, but
problems.
I don't know what it is yet. I don't think it's new. I think Roosters will. If Roosters getting it right, I think they'll be better for the run with cheese. They'll have a bit of lay of the land.
You're not really going to know until a bit of this merry-go-round happens.
And a lot can change.
Yeah. 2 or 3 really good signings can change a team completely.
100%. But on paper right now, like your Parasalves, one's just out of the 8 aren't going to be it. It's going to be. It's either going to be someone from the bottom, like we've seen from Cowboys, or
I can't see Canberra going up.
No. But it's even going to be like a Cowboys or Warriors out of nowhere. So almost like it's not Dragons either. So it's almost like a Tigers or Bulldogs, not for top 4 or anything like that. But someone's going to springboard 5 or 6 spots.
Sharks fix their bullshit. They keep fucking
if
up.
they can find some defenders.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like it is what it is. The pool's not deep.
No, it's
and
not.
2 people have stolen all the pool
Dolphins
noodles.
have got a couple going in there.
Better for the they need
Probably
young
should
they
improve.
need young forwards.
Yeah.
They need young forwards, as I said. But anyway, interesting. Well, I suppose we'll do it all again for another year, will we?
I'd say so.
No, I suppose.
Maybe. tell us.
let us know.
Tell us in the comments.
We will leave
Do you
some
want to
feedback.
listen to the shit
and
again
we
for
will
another year?
analyse all of it, but we may as well go and have another beer and fuck off.
Yep.
Obviously, if you're watching this show, leave us some. We want bowl predictions now. Let's have some fun next week. This Friday night.
If you think we got something wrong in the reviews of the top 4, top
tell
8,
us.
anything, let us know. Give us your opinions.
Yeah. And I like that people aren't shy in coming forward, so come and do that. It gives us something to talk about. Otherwise, we'll be back with a bowl prediction show. The show itself will be up in audio form. I'm hoping Saturday morning.
Okay.
Video form depends how many we have after the fact, but video form.
I thought you were going to say Monday, but
call it Monday for good grace. And otherwise, check out all our socials. Check out rugblymerch.com, and we'll talk to you soon. See you guys.
good night.